PSG versus Arsenal, Champions League final. Wow. Parking the bus after the first goal. You having a laugh? What a it was kind of boring to watch, wasn't it, for long periods of time. I don't know what the possession was. I watched it on TV and it kept flashing stuff up, and I didn't take the notice of it because I was what's the word, perplexed. How you can park the bus for that long. I would hazard the guess at over 70% possession to PSG. I've never seen a team 10-man defence before after the first goal in the Champions League final. I don't know what the hell they was doing. Was that their plan? Get one goal and then all out defend because they've been lauded up, haven't they? They've got the greatest defence ever. So, you know what I mean? When you've got 10 men defending like that, I suppose it is the greatest defence ever, isn't it? Ah, mate, what a biased commentary on the television. If I could have turned the commentary off on the television, I would have. Because I have never heard such waffle bias in my life. In fact, since you've won the PGMOL league this year, I keep seeing people jumping out the woodwork in Arsenal tops that ain't Arsenal, weren't Arsenal, like yesterday. I've had to go out and collect my daughter with 15 minutes to go of the football. And as I'm driving to get her, 7 minutes I had to drive to get her, 7 minutes home, I see loads of Arsenal t-shirts walking down the road. Loads. And I'm thinking to myself, hold on, you're in Champions League final, you're not indoors watching your football team. In the Champions League, you're not indoors in watching the football. That is just weird. That's the Champions League, not any sort of final. It's not a 2-bob cup, mate. That's the Champions League final, but you'd rather go shopping with bags of shopping in your Arsenal top. See? Football's been sold out, bruv. So people were just glory hunting. They're just wearing the tops now for no apparent reason other than to glory hunt and to gloat about a team that they don't really support. Because if you are a proper Arsenal supporter, bruv, you wouldn't be walking down the road, you'd be watching that Champions League, bruv. No matter how, you'd be watching that Champions League. And especially in the area I live in, I know these people can afford the TNTs and everything else because they're not poor people around here, mate. Especially the area I went last night to pick up my daughter. You ain't poor people, bruv. I just thought that was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Arsenal thought they should have had a penalty when they pulled down the PSG player. The bias of the commentary towards that decision made me think, hold on, something's wrong here. Oh yeah, you ain't got PGMOL on your side there, have you? This referee's not being paid off. This referee's doing it properly. And that's all you just kept going on about. That's all they kept going on about. Since that penalty, it got on my nerves. Oh, that should have been a penalty. Every commentator, from Ali McCoist to the other fucking arse-lickers, bruv. Absolute arse-lickers. Now, I used to like Ali McCoist, but over the last year and a half, it might even be longer now, lads, because time does go quick, doesn't it? 2 years, he's been a bit funny, hasn't he, with his commentary? A bit one-sided with certain teams. And, yeah, it's not much. Do you know what? This commentary we got on the people who are the commentators now, Gary Neville, Carragher's, I think most of the football fans, whether you're Chelsea, Man United, Everton, Liverpool, these commentators ain't worth it, are they? It's time to get new commentators, because these ones are just putting people off watching football. You want unbiased, don't you? Unbiased commentary and interesting commentary, not none of this. When I used to play, mate. That's no good to us. You know, that's no good to the blind people. They want to hear who's got the ball, bruv. You know, so if you've got a disability, you've got to listen to Gary Neville tell you a story, or Carragher tell you a story, or Sam Matterface give you stupid historical references and facts, and you think, oh mate, do you know what? It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not understanding how people are doing this shit. Sorry about that, people. I had to go and look out my window and be nosy. Oh, mate. Anyways, I think that's the end of me moaning about that football. Top it all off, I see someone I know as well. One of the young'uns was on TNT, nearly in tears at the end of the game. That tops it off for me. That made me laugh so much. I've done a short. I've done 2 shorts of it as well. I'm not going to say the young'un's name or anywhere, but he's one of the young'uns that used to hang about. Well, it's from my manor. So that was beautiful. The cameraman, thank you for that, brother. Other than that, PSG champions again. It's not the first time they've won on penalties. I was very surprised PSG didn't score 3 or 4 goals, to be honest with you. They looked a bit off, didn't they? In fact, they look very off. Maybe they've played a lot of football games this season and it's just got to them now. The ridiculous time of the final, 5 o'clock, that was absolutely crazy. I'm not understanding why 5 o'clock, bruv. In Budapest, what was it, 6 o'clock? Mate, another off-putting thing was watching the police go around the pitch. Did you see that? Like, all dressed like SAS, all going around the side of the pitch. Absolutely crackers. They called that the Pushkas Stadium, wasn't it, in Budapest? Yeah, quite a loud stadium, wasn't it? Quite loud fans. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, when people say about the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, all those Spurs fans, our Spurs fans, oh yeah, we're loud. You ain't loud. You ain't loud one bit. And this is why people complain. You might have certain sections of the audience cheering, but why aren't you cheering like this lot? Why aren't you cheering like the lot down the road? You know, if the French can cheer like that, PSG can cheer like that. I've watched other football clubs in France and Spain just on normal games, and they don't stop for 90 minutes. But at Tottenham, you've got one section, and that's it. The rest of them, when the camera pans round the stadium, you've got one bloke singing out of 200 middle-aged men holding their phones, which I find is weird. In fact, you've got a lot of the young kids holding their phones as well. And then you've got a little teeny section of them all singing. It's like, there's no one. There's no mass singing no more. Which I find kind of strange. Absolutely kind of strange. To see a first division or second division team in France or Spain with a larger than life crowd. Oh, but what a day yesterday, eh? That's football over for the summer now, isn't it? We've just got the World Cup. The actual World Cup, well, my good God as well. That's been started off becoming ridiculous before they even touched the ball. Um, in fact, it's touted, and I've not even seen any football talk about it. All I've seen is talk about ticket prices. I told you about the ticket prices in the video the other day, so I won't go over them. And if you didn't watch the video, go over and watch the video. They're only 3-minute videos. They're being subpoenaed and stuff. I'm just hoping this America might break FIFA into lowering ticket prices, and if England ever do get the World Cup, then they won't be able to do this high demand, high ticket thing anymore, because it's got ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Category this, category that. And this is what I find ridiculous in the Premiership. When you've got all different categories for all different football games, but they're all teams that deserve to be in the Premiership. I think they should all be the same price, you know. It makes you wonder when you have an home game and a smaller club that's worth a quarter of what we're worth comes along, beats you at home, and it's a lower category game, but they're better than you. Makes no sense, does it? A lower category, but they're a better class of football team. We could talk about the Tottenham as it goes, couldn't we? Conditioned. Spurs fans have been conditioned. I said ages ago in a video, about a year and a half ago, you've been conditioned to accept mediocrity, right? And then someone in my subscriber base the other day said exactly the same thing. I don't know if they've watched the older video and remembered, but we have been conditioned to accept mediocrity. When you look in the transfer news and stuff, and you see the likes of Robertson, Sensi, Greenwood, Rashford, none of these players set the world alight. And to say that you want to step up to the next level and then talk about a 33-year-old over the hill player when his legs are gone, and Sensi, that's not next level. They might be good little players in their own right, bit of experience. They've won something when their legs were good. In respect to Robertson, but these ain't next level players. They are not next level players. What they are is their agent. They've got a good agent, and they're throwing the PR out there before the transfer window's open, in hope that Tottenham are going to give these people a payday, because we're a payday club. And if you don't believe we're a payday club, look at all the players that Lange got in. Over 2 seasons now, 17th in each, right? In respect of the league position, okay, you give me the argument that it's down to injuries, right? But I'll tell you something, the injured players that are injured, they ain't worth nothing either. They're just mediocre players. You've lauded Kulusevski up on the pitch, and he's not even played a game this year. Oh, if we had Kulusevski, you would see that he weren't a bad little player. He weren't a great player. He weren't next level. In fact, he was predictable. You don't need a predictable player. You want an unpredictable player on the pitch, because as soon as someone becomes predictable, you know which way he's going to turn. You know which foot he's going to turn with. And that's what was happening with Kulusevski on that right-hand side. He had to turn in to get the ball on the right foot to fucking shoot with his fucking good foot. And that's no good. That is no good. And I've sat here for 24 hours since I read the subscriber comment about the mediocre football team. And it's Lange, isn't it? Get rid of Lange and all these footballers. And because all the players that have Lange have brought in, right, everyone's lauded them up. And in reality, the Bergvalls, the Archie Grays, no matter what you think, right, they ain't next level. Not at the minute, they're not next level. And we're a Premiership football team. We shouldn't have to bring players in that need 3 years to get going. That's just wrong. We should be bringing transfers in who are ready to hit the pitch running to compete in the greatest league that there ever was, apparently. But no, we ain't doing that. We're bringing young ones in, has-beens, and injury prones. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm not a fan of Lange, Vinay, and I'm not a fan of these footballers like a lot of people think, yeah? I might not slaughter them like a lot of the other channels slaughter the footballers, but in respect of that squad and a rebuild, in reality, you and I've got to sell a lot of players to get a next level squad in. Who would you keep? You know, I've mentioned a couple of young ones who they're good rotational players for a championship side, not for a Premiership side. But all the fans, they laud them all up. And I'm not understanding why they laud up all these players. The Vicarios, he's a great shot stopper. He's just an average goalie. When all we've got is an average defence, barring Romero. He never built a fucking defence around Romero, and this is why he's got the ump. If you would have built a defence around Romero, you would have been laughing. And even then, Romero's been dragged down to the average player level now because that's all he sees in front of him. That's all he's got playing with him. You name me a next level player out of that squad. A next level player who's proved himself. There you go. You can't, can you? You really can't. That's the depressing thing about it, that Spurs fans now have just accepted. When you read them on social media and that, they're bigging up Sarr. They're not, well, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're terrible players, but they're not next level. They're not these they're not prodigies like everyone's going on about. They will never be the greatest players in the world like everyone's going on about. They will just be average footballers. Average, and the league position don't lie. 17th twice, because we've got 6 notes and average, mediocre, medium level players. It's terrible, really. It's terrible. We're supposed to back these season after season. We'll back the team and they play in the team, but Jesus, Spurs fans, please wake up. You're being conned by Vinay telling you we need a rebuild, and all he's going to do is he's going to give you the same as. And if we stay in the Premiership next year, he's just going to give you the same as again. You're going to get, all he done that for was to sell season tickets, bro. That's all they do it for, is to sell season tickets. Oh, we rely on the fans. Yeah, you rely on the fans' money. Just tell the truth. That's what they rely on, the fans' money. Terrible what football's become now. Absolutely terrible. From the commentary with the Arsenal game, to Spurs, the directors, the waffle, the players, and even De Zerbi. I mean, let's look at De Zerbi at previous clubs. Everyone's giving him the big I am at Tottenham, and I'm in no doubt that when he's not given what he wants in the transfer window in the summer, when he's not given anything in the transfer window at January, he'll say ta-ta, he'll say goodbye. And is he a next level manager in respect to the Premiership? Or is he just another Thomas Frank from a different country with a different name? You tell me in the comments if he's what makes him so special. What makes him so special? Last game of the season it went down to. If we'd have got him in January, do you think it would have changed? Do you think it would have got down to the last game of the season? Probably. I mean, no doubt that it might have got to the last game of the season again. Especially the squad he's got to deal with. Don't get me wrong again, I'm not slaughtering De Zerbi, but it's the reality of the situation. Look at his previous history at other clubs. Shakhtar, Marseille, Brighton's. There's a few in between there as well, isn't there? Mate, he's not a next level manager, is he? He ain't, is he? I mean, let's face it. If I tell you that's an F1 plant, and you're telling me, it don't look like an F1 plant, bruv. It don't smell like an F1 plant, and it don't smoke like an F1 plant, then it probably ain't an F1 plant. If you know, you know. It's probably an F2 from a dodgy background. Oh yeah, we're talking plants now, aren't we? A lot of you don't even know plants. But yeah. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, have a good one. Take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful next couple of days. I think the weekend's nearly over. So schools are back on Monday or Tuesday, aren't they? We've had a nice week off. God bless. Peace out. And thank you for watching.